Warning. This podcast may contain spoilers from whatever TV show or movie is mentioned. Please listen at your own discretion. Welcome to Viewers Anonymous.
Yo, what's going on? I am Scoots Bronson.
And I am S. Foster.
That's right, and you tuned into another episode of the Viewers Anonymous podcast where we give you our very own reviews and takes of movies and TV straight out of Hollywood. What's going on with you, my guy?
I'm good, man. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Got some good news today. So just know that I got some good news today, so I'm happy about that. But with good news, man, let me tell you what happened, man. I gotta tell you something real quick, man. You know what I'm saying? I'll share this with the audience real quick story. So my son, my youngest son, he always hit me with stuff last minute. You know what I'm saying? He calls me before he can open up I open up the garage when they get home from school. So he also hits me with, hey, so there's a basketball game at the school today. It's a scrimmage. Can I go? He was like, it's at 5:30. So why do you hit me with stuff last minute? It's 3:45, and you asking me about taking you to a game at 5:30. So I'm like, all right. I was like, all right, I'll get you when I get there. So then I get him a call when I'm about to be home. He's like, Dad, I gotta tell you something. I accidentally knocked over Tay's drink. So I'm like, all right, did you clean it up? He says yes. I was like, well, I know how you clean up. I said, make sure you get some, you know what I'm saying, some disinfectant wipes, all this type of stuff, you know, blah, blah, blah. All right. So I didn't come in the house. I picked them up, took them straight to school, came back.
Yeah.
My God, when I tell you, let me tell you. There was Drake. I got cabinets like almost touching the ceiling.
Yeah.
That shit splashed all the way up there. It's on cabinets, the counter, the floor is crazy. It's on the doggone microwave. That's, you know, I got the microwave above the stove. I'm like, man, come on, yo. Yeah. So I've been cleaning up the kitchen. I had to mop everything. Man, listen. You know what? I ain't even gonna do it.
Yeah, other than that, man.
Yeah, man. So that was not the way I wanted to come home. You know what I'm saying? From work.
But I mean, you gotta give them credit though, man. That's usually how little boys clean stuff up, man.
You know, yeah.
They get the major spot, and everything else it is what it is.
Yeah, man. So it was just one of those things, man. And then like I couldn't even like, you know, like, yell at them like, look, you see that? You didn't even get, because they wasn't here. They was at the game. So I just had to clean it up and just bitch to myself, man. But anyway, man, how you feeling, man? Everything good with you?
Oh man, everything is copacetic, man. I have no complaints today, man. None at all. I'm feeling great. You know what I'm saying? My Browns won this weekend. I won in fantasy football this weekend. I'm currently sitting at 5-5 in fantasy football. I was in last place 2 weeks ago. I'm currently in the middle of the road right now. I have a possibility of making the playoffs. My team is trending up. You know what I'm saying? I haven't made no major roster moves as of late. I don't think I have to. You know what I'm saying? I got some pretty good pieces. I got a pretty solid bench. So I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling real good, man. Everything is coming along great, man.
That's what's up, man. Glad to hear that. I got me a little win this week. You know what I'm saying? In the fantasy league that nobody's playing in, but you know.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say I don't think nobody's playing
that. But this is the thing though, and this is what's so crazy about fantasy though. Mm-hmm. And this is a running joke on the Dan Levatore show. So Dan don't like fantasy at all.
Yeah.
So they threw him in the league anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And they auto drafted. He didn't touch the team all year. He won the league.
Oh, it's always something like that, bro.
Yo, it's so crazy how that stuff works out. Like, because we really overthink it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We be like, oh, well, I ain't gonna start this dude this week because he playing this team, and they don't. You know, and it's like you overthinking it, and then next thing you know, you got a dude on the bench that got you 40 because last week he only got you 10, and you like, well, he ain't doing nothing. And
hey man, you speaking to my soul right now. Let me tell you. So not this week, but the week before and the week before that, I have Jordan Addison, I have Shaheed from the Saints, I have Romeo Dobbs and who is my other receiver? Um, I got Elijah Moore and I got somebody else. I forgot who the other guy is. Oh, Josh Reynolds. Okay. So I take Jordan Addison, start him, put Shaheed on the bench, start Josh Reynolds. Shaheed goes off for 27 plus points. Next week, put Shaheed up, take Josh Reynolds down, and start Jordan Addison.
Mhm.
Shaheed gives me 5 points. No, he give me 7 points. Josh Reynolds goes off for 20.
Sitting on the bench.
Yeah, I was punching the air, man. I was punching the air like we were getting Junior and Boys in the Hood, man. I'm talking about just 2 back-to-back weeks, man. Just it was just all bad, man. But everything is going great, man. I think I might have a pickup of the year though, and I know this ain't the football podcast, y'all, but I gotta get this out because I'm super elated right now. I think
Okay.
I might have the pickup of the year for the league, and that's Sam Howell. Sam Howell I think he gave me 40 points the week before. This week he
You want
gave me 27. No, he gave me 37. The week before he gave me 40 points.
so I got to pick up like that.
Hmm.
So and I only picked them up because I got my guy Brock Purdy and Jared Goff. So both the 49ers and Detroit was on the buys last week.
Hmm.
So I had to pick me up a quarterback.
Hmm.
I pick up my guy CJ Stroud. Yo
Oh,
guy. Yo, he got
he
me
went crazy
37 last
back to
week.
back weeks.
And I
Back
was like, boy, I was like, hey, well, you want to talk about a pickup? That was a
man,
pickup, man.
man.
I kept
I
him.
feel
Now I got three quarterbacks. I don't know who to start
I
because
feel
Brock got because Brock got like 27 last week. Jared Goff, I started Jared Goff. He got like 28 or something like that. But CJ Stroud still got, you know what I mean, around the same thing. So it's like I got three quarterbacks. I don't even know who to start. So I don't know. But yeah, we'll
that's a
get
good
off football,
problem to
y'all. I'm
have.
sorry.
That's a good problem to have.
Yeah, it's definitely a good problem to have.
But let me tell you guys something, man. This episode is this might be one of our best episodes. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
This is a very interesting movie that you put on this list. Let me say
okay.
that first and foremost. The cast was amazing.
Yes, I forgot Ray Liotta was in this bad boy.
Yeah, Ray Liotta, um, um, Bradley Cooper, Eva Mendes, Mahershala Ali, uh, Ryan Gosling. I forgot the kid that plays Ryan Gosling's son, but he's you know what I'm saying he's been in a lot of different things. Um,
Yes.
and it's a couple other actors in here that have some very well known names. This is an amazing cast to start off. But today we're talking about The Place Beyond the Pines. And first and foremost, let me say this. I'd never seen this, so I didn't know what to expect going into this movie. So I went in, you know what I'm saying, unbiased, clear conscious, just let me, you know what I'm saying, let me watch it and let me, see what's going on. So first and foremost, I was playing the game as I'm watching this. Okay. Because I watched it today, soon as I got off work. Because I couldn't find it anywhere else. So I had to, you know what I'm saying, go on the black market and do my thing. But I ended up finding it, end up watching it. And man, let me tell you something. The only thing that I could think of at the time of watching this movie is the sins of the father. That's the first thing that came to my mind after this movie went off. I was like,
Okay.
wow, it's so crazy how, your father can do some things and be involved in some things, and y'all really don't even have a connection. And then you end up kind of in those same, you know what I'm saying, in those same channels doing those same things. So just to give you guys a quick synopsis, this movie is about a young man who had kind of a love affair with a young lady. He was on a traveling fair, or well, it ain't no circus, but it's like a traveling fair. He was one
Mhm.
of the main attractions of a traveling fair. He was like a stunt man for the fair or whatever, and he would, come to the town every so often. He came back, he seen old girl, talked to her, and she ended up, saying moving on with her life. She got a new boyfriend, saying she doing her thing, and then he finds out that she has a child, and then he finds out that the child is his. So he tries to change his life around. He's trying to do better, and he's trying to be there for his son, and he can't really find a job that's going to, allow him to do the things that he wants to do. So he decides to go on. Well, he meets a guy, and then he decides to get he gets the idea from the guy and decides to go on a bank robbery spree. Now, the plan for the bank robbery spree, that shit was genius. I got to give him.
Yes, yes.
That shit
I
was
knew you
genius.
were gonna say that.
That shit was genius. Now, he goes on a bank robbery spree. He gets the money. He's starting to, get to spend time with his kid. He's, building a connection with his with the mother of his child, and they're kind of having, sharing some good times hanging out. And he, he buys some things for his kids. He takes it over to the house. While they're not there, her mother was there. So, he get his son a crib, and he building this, crib for his son. They come home, altercation happens. He goes to jail. Um, he gets out. He tells the dude, he pays the dude back for bonding him out. He tells the dude, this time I want to hit two banks instead of one. Dude, like, nah, that's too much. He decides to do it anyway. Um, ends up getting caught up. He ends up getting shot and killed. He ends up shooting the cop. The cop ends up becoming a quote unquote hero, because he has some connections in the force and in the government, in the local government. And then eventually he's feeling guilty about everything that happens. He tries to come to terms with everything, tries to help the family out. They don't really want to help him. Some dirty stuff went on in between all of that. And then his son, later on, he ends up becoming the DA, or he's an assistant DA. He's going out for DA. His son wants to come live with him. His son comes to live with him. Next thing you know, his son is going to school, becomes best friends with the bank robber's son, and then the bank robber's son, finds out what happened. And now this is the part where we got to talk about, because this is where I had got confused in the movie. So we got to talk about this. But
Okay.
basically, the bank robber's son had him at gunpoint. He let him go. He eventually left off, and then that's pretty much the end of the movie. And then he ended up getting a DA and everything else. So to start this off, this is a cataclysm of so many different genres of movie, right? So you got like the romance, you got the drama, you got a little bit of action. Um, you can add, like some dirty cop stuff in there. You can add uh revenge. Excuse me, you got like some revenge stuff in there. Like this is really a well written movie,
Mhm.
because there's so much that's going on in here. So let's start from the beginning. Um, let me get on IMDb real quick. My apologies, everybody. Um, so I can make sure I got the characters' names and stuff. So Ryan Gosling's character,
It's Luke.
Luke. Okay, so
Mhm.
Luke is at work. You know what I'm saying? He's basically a motorcycle stunt rider. Um, and he does his stunt or whatever. After he gets done, he meets up with what's her name, Romina Romina.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how they pronounced it, but it's
I'm gonna
one of
just say
those.
Romina because she's Spanish, so let's just
Yes.
roll with Romina. Okay, cool. So he meets up with Romina. You know what I'm saying? He's talking to her. He's trying to kick it with her a little bit, because he's supposed to leave the next day after he performs or whatever. So he's like, I'm only here one more day. I want to spend some time with you. I want to kick it with you, blah, blah, blah. Romina is like, I can't really do it because you know what I'm saying. I'm living a whole new life. I got a new man. I got a new job. You know what I'm saying. She kind of, pushing my man off, but she's still showing my man some love.
Hmm.
So, you know what I'm saying. He like, well, can I at least give you a ride home? She like, yeah. You take her to the crib. Next day, you know what I'm saying. He trying to meet up with her, still do the same thing, and he comes to the house only to find out that she's gone. She's at work, but
Well, a year later.
a year later, okay, a year later. Um, damn, that was a year later.
I don't know if it was a whole yeah, because if you think about it, nine
See, this
months to have a baby,
this is yeah, that's what
and
I'm saying. This it's confusing too because they don't really like hit you with the a year later thing or
well, he says it because
okay, okay,
they do the thing that every time he would come to town, it would always be the next year.
okay, that makes sense then. Okay, so
Yeah.
a year later, now it makes sense now. So a year later, um, because I thought this was like the year. I thought when they had first met, when they showing them first meeting, I thought that was like after, you know what I'm saying, the first time they had kicked it or whatever.
Oh no, that
So that
was
was the first time they kicked it.
well from the way that they seen. I think that before that scene, obviously, I think he saw her the year before too.
Yeah,
So
see,
I think
that's
that
what
he
I
just
thought.
got like she's like basically like his groupie when he come into town.
See, that's what I thought. Because when he was talking to her, she was like, "Nah, I got a man now. I can't do none of that." So in my head, I'm thinking, you know what I'm saying, they had already done, you know what I'm saying, done had their little moment. All right, so
Yeah.
cool. So a year later, he's back in town. You know what I'm saying. He goes. He's asking if she's there. She's not. He's talking to her mom. He's like, "Yo, you remember me?" She like, "Yeah, of course I know who you are." Blah blah blah. And she's holding a baby, and he was like, "Who's this little fella?" She like, "Oh, it's her son." So he like, "Oh shit, she got a kid," and he like, "Yes." She like, "Yes, your kid." This nigga like, "Oh shit," whole life changed right there.
Yes.
My man changed that. Now this is the thing, bro. This is why I say this movie is so well written because you don't expect what happens to happen, right?
Hmm.
Once he find out he has a kid, it's not like he becomes a asshole or a deadbeat. Like he instantly changed his life around. Like he instantly got to it. Went, quit his job. He wanted to stay in town so he could be around his son, so he could help raise his son. You know what I'm saying? He wanted them to be a family so his son would have that type of structure. Like he was really, you know what I'm saying? Like his mind was in the right place once he found out, you know what I'm saying, he had his kid. And I thought that that was dope for them to write that in because once we get to the part to where he has to go on these bank robberies, you understand what he's doing it for. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Too many movies. I feel like too many movies we see where something like this happens and we don't really understand what it's for. We just see them doing some wild shit, and then eventually later on it'll tell you like, oh, well, that's why he did. Okay, nah, this one is hitting you up front like he got a kid. He trying to change his life around. Went and got another job working with man, is it Jack?
Oh man, what's his name? Is
Was
it Jack?
no Robin. Ben Mendelsohn was the actor. So he
Oh,
started
okay.
working with Robin. So as he's working with Robin, Robin like, I because he was riding, you know what I'm saying? He was riding oh, that's what happened. So he went to go see him. He went to go see his son again because after, they was hanging out for a little bit. Went to go see his son again. And he was like, I wanted to know if we could spend some time together. She like, nah, not right now, because we on our way to church. They get to church, and he follow him out there. He goes in, he sees everything that's going on. His son is getting baptized.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And as he's sitting back there in the pew and listening to the, you know what I'm saying, the what's it, the priest? I guess that's a priest. The
Yeah.
priest, he's sitting there listening to what the priest is saying. He starts crying. You know what I'm saying? Because eventually you find out like his life wasn't nothing like that. Like his life was totally different. So, um, he's fighting to be in his child's life. He's doing everything he can. He's trying to, um, he's trying to just be there as a father. And uh he ends up, you know what I'm saying, after he sees it, he starts crying, he starts to go riding, you know what I'm saying, to blow off some steam, ends up meeting Robin. Robin him they talk. Robin gives him a ride back into town. Um, and from that point on is where everything goes to shit. So Robin is like, it's an easy way to make some money. I know how to make some money. You know what I'm saying? First he gives him a job. And so he's helping him out in his chop shop or whatever. And after a while he tells Robin, like, look, man, I appreciate the help, but ain't nothing I can do about this. You know what I'm saying? I gotta get some more money. And Robin comes up with the bright idea to do robberies. And he's telling them, yo, just rob a bank. So I do it all the time. And he like, what? He like, yeah, I do it all the time. Like they never catch me. And you know what I'm saying? They come up with this genius plan to rob this bank. Now, let's stop there.
Okay.
Up until this point, how are you feeling about this? Because what for me, I felt like this is, what I'm saying? I already feel like it's a dope thing to see this guy who, what I'm saying, he finds out he has a son. He's like, yo, I want to take care of my son. I want to be in my son's life. I want to be there, what I'm saying, not just for my son, but I want to, what I'm saying, I want to make you my girl. I want us to be a family. I want to, what I'm saying, be able to provide for you and protect you. All this good stuff that what I'm saying, that a man is supposed to do. He's trying to be that. So how did you feel about that whole, what I'm saying, like that whole basically first act of the movie?
Well, another thing that was very interesting about this story was Romina was kind of like, I think now what she did was smart. Like you can't wait around for somebody who pops up yearly.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So she started her own life. And so for her to move on, but she still had feelings for this man. Like, because even after the child was born, what I'm saying, he took her back to the trailer, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Lay him down, smack him, yak him. You know what I'm saying? Like
Absolutely.
Ebro would say.
Absolutely.
So she still had feelings for her, even when they took the picture,
Mhm.
which the picture ends up being a very huge thing in this movie,
Yeah.
where the picture of her and him and the baby when it was an infant in front of the ice cream shop.
Mhm.
And so she's crying in that picture. It's because I
Yeah.
think she's like envisioning like, yo, like I kind of want to be with you, but I just feel like the situation I'm in is more of a stable situation. Like I just
You-
don't want to take my son
Okay, so
out of
I
that
don't think
situation.
that's why she was crying.
Okay, why you think she was
I
crying?
feel like she was crying because she was happy. Like in that moment,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like she had a family, you know what I'm saying? And remember when he had came to talk to her, he was like, yo, you know what I'm saying? I want to take you and we can, if you don't like this, we can move, we can go somewhere else. And you know what I'm saying? I want to take care of you. And she like, well, what about my mom? He like, shit, she come too. I don't give a fuck. Like, I just want y'all to be there. You know what I'm saying? I want to be there for y'all. And so I think that because she seen him show, you know what I'm saying, she seen him in action and he was actually doing the things that he said that he wanted to do, not just, constantly saying it, and he wasn't fucking up, he wasn't doing nothing crazy. He was just really trying to be there, you know what I'm saying, as a man. And I think that when in that moment she realized, like, damn, like this motherfucker really does care. Like this motherfucker really is. We here. We, you know what I'm saying. Like we a family. And I think in that moment she felt like joy and happiness because it's not too many times we see movies like this to where like the woman is like, you know what I'm saying. The man is telling her, and then he actually coming through with the shit that he telling her. You know what I'm saying?
I mean this is true, but also Kofi wasn't no slouch either because it was his place that they was living in.
Mm-hmm.
But then at the same time, and unfortunately, like what I'm saying, we live where we live, race is a factor. For Kofi to be played by Mahershala Ali, which is a black man,
Yeah.
raising this white child from the rip,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm
You have
saying?
to.
Didn't bother him any. He raised him like he was his own, like he was
Yeah.
there from the very beginning.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of people that would do that. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? So you're dating a Latina woman
Mm-hmm.
who had a child with a white man, and then you
Mm-hmm.
black, and you carrying around, walking around with this baby like it's yours. You know what I'm
And
saying? Taking
and
it to
and
get
her
back.
mom is staying with y'all.
And yeah, and her mom staying there.
Mhm.
So she. That's why I was just meaning like, yeah, I think that you're right. I think it was joy, but I also think it was like she wants to entertain the fact
Mhm.
of like having them be a family and be together. But I think that she was just like, the situation that I'm in is stable,
Yeah.
and I think
Yeah.
that she just didn't really want to break that up.
Okay.
And so also, so I thought that that part of it was very interesting, and for Robin to see, he saw desperation in a person, and he
Mm-hmm.
fed off that.
Mm-hmm.
And he fed off the fact that this dude was, desperate to, to get his family back, or well, at least get his family at least,
Right.
and like all this type of stuff. But he knew, I think that he knew like what I'm saying. It's like Kofi has a house. You know what I'm saying? That he obviously he has to have a job, and it's the
Mm-hmm.
situation is stable. So he's like, yo, I need to get money fast. And his idea is to like, yo, let's rob this bank. Now, granted, Robin was smart. After he got arrested, and he wanted to do the two bank thing. So,
Yeah.
yo, that's a bad idea. You're starting to go off the deep end. I think we need to stop. And so what he does is he cut his bike in half so he can't, do the robbery on his own.
Okay. Okay. You jumping way too ahead first because we missing a lot
Okay,
of stuff. We missing a lot of stuff.
okay. This is true, but I was just speaking on just the fact of like Robin's terminology of like how he was thinking,
Yeah.
because I think initially I think he was really kind of looking for a friend.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for you not to even know this guy, all you do, you see him riding through the woods, and like, yo, you ride well. You need to, you know what I'm saying? You want to go into town together. You need a place to stay. You can work for me. I don't make a lot of money, but you know what I'm saying? It's something to do. Like, I think he just kind of really wanted somebody around.
Absolutely.
But feeding off of the situation that he was in, I think I want to call him a bad guy, but then at the same time, he knew that that idea of robbing two banks in one day he knew it was a bad idea.
I don't think Robin was a bad guy at all. I think he was just a dude that was getting by. He had his own business. You know what I'm saying? He was finding a way to make it. Now granted, it wasn't a legal way, but he was still finding a way to make it. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't really doing no crazy stuff. He wasn't really out here like, you know what I'm saying, killing people or nothing. He just robbed a bank every now and then.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I thought, I mean, I didn't look at Robin like he was like this real bad guy. I think it was more so just the fact of um the mixture of Luke, his desperation, like you said, trying to, you know what I'm saying, get his family together, trying to make sure that he can actually provide for them and give them things and do stuff for them. Because um once he start actually robbing the banks, right? Let's get into that, right? So they start robbing the banks after they come up with this idea. They rob the bank, um, and basically Robin is sitting out the way with like a moving van, and Luke goes in, he robs the bank. After he robs the bank, he gets on his dirt bike, takes his dirt bike, drives to wherever Robin is, drives up into the back of the van. Robin closes everything up. They drive off. Police never find them. Never think, you know what I'm saying, to find them. And it was working.
Hmm.
Um, and in the midst of all this, you know what I'm saying, now he has money to take them to go do stuff and, you know what I'm saying, actually show them like, yo, I can, I can provide now. Um, and this is where like the ice cream date happens, and you know what I'm saying, like he was talking to her and like has he, asking her about his son eating ice cream yet, and he was like, I want my son to be able to every time he eat ice cream, you know what I'm saying, think of me and all this other stuff. So he really had a good heart, and I felt like Robin did too. You know what I'm saying? Robin had the heart to be like, yo, I know you trying to get your son back. I know you trying to, you know what I'm saying, get your girl back. I can help you in some type of a way. I'm giving you a job. If this ain't enough, because remember he even told him, I understand if you even want to leave and go get you a different job. I totally get it. You know what I'm saying? But he was like, yo, if you really want to make this shit happen, I know how to get some good money quick. And you know what I'm saying? It worked. And so the the crazy part was in the midst of all this is the interaction that ended up happening between um what's his name? Kofi
Kofi.
and Luke.
Yep.
Now,
I was about to get there.
okay, yeah. So let's go ahead and get to it then. So Luke, he's buying all this stuff for his son. You know what I'm saying? He uses the truck to go get some stuff for his son. He pops up at the house. He's like, yo, you know what I'm saying? I got some presents for my son, but I also got him something else. He gets him a crib because they didn't have a crib for him. And his son was AJ was the other son. Um
His son was
Jason.
Jason.
Jason. Yeah. So so Jason is, you know what I'm saying, basically sleeping in the bed with them. And you know what I'm saying, he comes in, he brings the crib in, he's putting the crib together. Romina and Kofi pull up. They come in the house, you know what I'm saying? Her mom, like, listen, you know, he's upstairs putting the crib together. I didn't know what to do. So she come in, she like, yo, you can't just be popping up, you know what I'm saying, when we ain't here. You know what I'm saying? Like, this ain't my house. You know what I'm saying? This
Mhm.
Kofi house, like, you can't be doing this. I don't know how you're gonna feel about it. Now, I never disliked Mahershala Ali in anything he's done except this movie. I felt like he played a straight up buster in this movie, bro.
Okay.
And I'm speaking from experience when I say this because I was in Luke's shoes. Not the well, I was in Kofi's shoes actually, but the Luke part where they got into the fight, that never happened. It was just more so the fact of I was helping to take care of a child that wasn't mine. From at a very very early age, and the one thing that I always said was she has to know who her family is, you know what I'm saying? I always made sure that whenever her dad needed to, you know what I'm saying, like get her or wanted to come get her or do anything like that, I always, like, if you know what I'm saying, at the time my wife, if she couldn't do it, I always made sure, like, well, I can, you know, I can take her, or if he can't come get, you know what I'm saying, or I sit here with her until he comes to get her, or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? I always wanted them to have that connection because, you know, that's important. You got to know who your family is. And I felt like Kofi was being like a real bitch ass nigga. My
Yeah.
man in here putting the crib up for his son, bro. He ain't doing nothing. He ain't doing nothing wild. He just in here putting up a crib for his son. He like, yo, I feel like, you know what I'm saying, he should have a crib. And this nigga like, yeah, no, you need to get this shit and go. Wait a minute, time out, man. It ain't that deep, bro. I'm just up in here putting up a crib, man. It ain't that serious. I'm here for my son. I ain't even here for your girl, who I've been
Yeah.
smashing and you don't even know yet. They never got to that. They never got to that. You know what I'm saying?
No.
I'm still hitting this. Okay. Now I can end all this real quick, but I'm trying to be cool. Let me put this crib up and leave it at that. But you know what I'm saying? He let his ego get the best of him, man. And I was like, damn, bro, like this nigga Kofi really is a bitch ass nigga.
Yeah, that part was terrible because like the thing is like at the end of the day, the way it seemed like y'all couldn't afford one. Now she only worked at like Ramina worked at a diner. It
Mm-hmm.
never showed us where he worked,
Right.
but he knew that the baby was sleeping. And that's another thing Kofi didn't put together. How you know the baby sleeping in bed with us? You know what I mean? Like what y'all been talking about? You know, when
Exactly.
did y'all have this conversation?
Exactly.
So anyway, he didn't pick up on that. But then at the same time, it's like you were saying. My whole thing is if you are dating a girl who already has a kid, an infant at that,
Mm-hmm.
if dude just pop up with some toys for his child and a crib for the child, and we didn't have one, you putting it together too. That's what's
Yeah,
up.
that's what I said. I'm like, bro, he even putting this motherfucker together.
Like
Like, my
what?
nigga, kick back. You and your girl go downstairs, y'all chill. Let that man kick it with his son. and then y'all talk about it afterwards. That's the only thing you
Yeah,
got to do.
and the only conversation after is, yo, look, next time you need to make yourself known. You
That's
know
all.
what I'm saying?
That's
Don't
all.
just pop up and do this.
You ain't even
You
got
know
to
what I'm
do
saying?
that. Just, hey man, listen. I appreciate it if you know what I'm saying. From now on, let us know when you coming over. So you know what I'm saying. One of us could be here at least, or you know what I'm saying,
Yeah,
something like that. Like, come on, man. But
yeah.
you got to play the big bad role. You don't shush me in my house, fam. You already came with the stupid ass energy. Hey man, you cool with this? He asking her, you cool with this? He putting the crib together, man. Yes, you can be cool with it. The fuck is wrong with this nigga?
Yeah. That part was, it did make Kofi look bad. You know
Man,
what I'm saying, in that situation, and you know what I'm saying, he caught a wrench to the face. You know what I
as
mean,
he should.
and press charges on my man.
Yeah, like I told bitch ass nigga, man. I told you.
You know what I'm saying? This could have been an altercation between, you know what I'm saying, the father and the stepfather. You know what I mean?
And then
Hey,
listen, let me tell you how player Luke was about it though. He get his son, calm his son down. She
yeah,
like, get the fuck out that man, fuck all that. Mondoose, call an ambulance. That's all you gotta do. Just call an ambulance. You know what I'm saying? The baby
yeah,
crying. You worried about this nigga. The baby over here crying like ringing everybody's ears. Calm the baby down first, then worry about him. He a grown man. He can handle his own kinda. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. So yeah, that scene was Kofi. He did not have his greatest moment in that situation,
Right.
because a lot of people deal with that type stuff. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people out here that are not with the original people that they had babies with, and you know what I'm saying, these type things happen, and I think that that's a terrible way to handle it, because the thing is, if he was being, because when he first came, because that was just like you brought up the scene when they was going to go get the baby baptized. He's like, yo, you really trying to do this today? He was like, really? But I think that at the time he wasn't bringing anything to the table.
Right.
So yeah, like, dude, you trying to do this shit today? Like, you ain't even doing nothing. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Like, you just popping up.
Yeah, because
But
that's what
then,
he asked him. He like, how long you in town for this time?
yeah. So then when you see that he's around and he's actually doing something, yo, if you bringing something to the table and you his father, bet.
Come on,
You
man.
know what I'm saying? That's all it is to it. Because you would rather, you know what I'm saying, the dude is contributing than if he's not. So
Mhm.
he's showing you they contributing, and like you said, he's coming in like, yo, you cool with this?
Right.
Like like I said, the only thing is, yeah, it is, Luke did overstep by the fact of just knowing that the moms is cool and she was just gonna let him in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He should have spoke to them, or at least, yo, I got the crib. Yo, Kofi, if you want to put it together, you can put it together. But just
Yeah.
know, I bought the crib, and I bought a crib for my son so he can have somewhere to sleep.
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, man. They just could have worked it out. So after that happens, Luke goes to jail for a little bit. What he spent like a night in jail?
Yeah, he wasn't in there long. Yeah,
Yeah. So then they broke out. And then he gave Robin back his money. Then that's when he come up with the idea to rob two banks in one day. Robin told him, cool down, you tripping, you hot right now. This ain't the time to do it. Luke, like, fuck all that. You know what I'm saying? I need to make sure that I'm back, you know what I'm saying, kicking it like I used to, so my son to be good. After all that, he ends up like you said, Robin cut his bike in half. He pop up on Robin, pull up on him, you know what I'm saying, pull the gun out on him. Hey man, you owe me a new bike. So he get his new bike. He decides to do the shit himself. And this is when all shit breaks. All the shit just breaks into pieces. So goes to rob the bank. It's taking forever because they got plexiglass in this bank. So you finally get out, rob a man on the way out, which I thought was stupid. That's what took even more time. Rob a man on the way out, get on the bike don't start.
don't start.
Right then and there, bro, in my head, I'm like, he done for. He caught. I'm forgetting that you done already told me everything about this movie. This how good this movie got. I forgot everything you told me about this movie by the because I'm indulged in this movie now. So he get on the bike, drive off, man. You know what I'm saying? Start his little, you know what I'm saying, his escape. Getting chased down, goes through the, you know what I'm saying? He riding through a graveyard, getting chased down. Then runs into a blockade, gets his bike, brings it around, drives off. As he's riding down the street, the officer's calling for other officers in the area, and little do we know who is it? Who sees him? Officer Bradley fucking Cooper. What's his
Officer
name?
Bradley
Avery.
Cooper.
His name was Avery in this one, right?
I think so. This IMDb is stupid. Like they got
Yeah,
him all the way down at the
the cast
bottom.
is everywhere, bro.
Yeah, I think it is Avery
Yeah,
though.
Avery. Yep. So Avery chases him down. He corners him in the house. And at first, Luke was holding the people in the house hostage. Let him go. And Avery goes in. He's trying to find where Luke is at. Luke is on the phone talking to Ramina, and he telling her like, "Yo, just don't tell him nothing about me. Don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? I messed up. Just never say nothing. You know what I'm saying? Don't say nothing about me." Um, and then Avery finds him, kicks down the door, busts in, shoot him. Luke shoots him in the leg, and uh,
Fell from the window.
yeah, Luke falls from the window and dies. Now, one thing about this part that I hated: two officers are running up. As they're running up, these niggas said, "Don't move, don't move, stay down, hands behind your head." Now,
My man bleeding out.
no, not even that part. Not even that part. Now I know for most people that's typical cop talk. You know what I'm saying? I know
Hmm.
what you're thinking. Why is that odd for cops to say that? Well, first and foremost, yes, he was on the ground bleeding out, but the nigga's feet was by his thighs. Nigga, there was no way he was gonna be able to do anything, even if he was alive. The nigga broke his fucking legs. What the fuck were y'all talking about? They showed you what the nigga looked like when he hit the ground. As I'm running up, as you running up, I'm sure you can see this nigga's feet, the bottom of his feet facing you. Like, nigga, there, where is he gonna go? The fuck are you talking about, man? So Luke dies. Avery gets injured. Now we move on to the next chapter of the movie.
Well, before the
Yeah.
end of that, so now Avery is the main focus now,
hmm
and so he's in the hospital because, and I think Luke's shot was a reaction shot from getting shot that he kind of
Yeah, because
pulled the
remember,
trigger
Avery got
because he
burned.
got hit. So the cop comes in like the head chief
The
or
captain.
sheriff, whatever he is, captain.
Yeah.
So he's talking to him like, yo, and he's trying to get his story together.
Yep.
And he tells the truth of when I kicked the door in, I shot him and he shot
Mhm.
me. He was like, are you sure he didn't shoot you first
Yeah.
and then you shot him? So they already doctoring up the story because what they decided to do was to make Avery the hero
Yep.
who killed the bank robber.
hmm
So while he's in the hospital, they cook up this whole story. And so when he's leaving the hospital, they taking snapshots of him.
Yep.
He's this hero, all this
Yep.
type shit. Well, what happens is, in most movies, I mean, I'm not a cop, but they put it in every movie. After you shoot someone and kill them, they make you do therapy.
Yeah.
So he's doing therapy, and so his therapist is talking to him, and he says something about not being able to hold his son or talk, or something like that.
Yeah.
And she was like, is it like survivor's guilt from killing, what I'm saying, Luke,
hmm
and knowing that Luke has a son?
Yeah.
So he was feeling guilty about, this kid having to live in a world without his father. No matter if he robbed banks or not, he still kind of felt a little guilty for shooting it. Because I think that when he kicked down that door, I think really it was a reaction from him too. I don't think he really wanted to shoot him. I think
Yeah.
he kind of got afraid and just kind of pulled the trigger.
Well,
And so,
I think so too, because when he buzzed down the door, his hand was by his ear. He was on the phone. So like in that moment, you frantic, you know what I'm saying? You trying to stop him. You don't know what he got on him, right? You know what I'm saying? You just
yeah,
see his hand up, you see something black in his hand. I guess he figured it was a gun and he got the jump on
and he did.
him. Mm-hmm.
And so he's feeling guilt. But the strange thing is, we had Ray Liotta come over. He pop up, you know what I'm saying,
Oh
with his
man,
guys.
wait, because you're going way too far now. You're going way too far. So um after he gets out the hospital, he talks to his dad because I think his dad was a judge or something
I
like
think his
that,
dad
right?
was a judge. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's talking to his dad. Him and his dad are having a conversation, and his dad is like, um, he asking him about how it feels to be a hero and is he sick of it yet and all that other stuff. And then he's having a conversation with his wife, and his wife is asking him some questions, and him and his wife kind of have like a little tiff or whatever, because she's asking him like, is everything right? Are you doing everything right? He like, yo, right now ain't the time to be asking me that. Why are you asking me that? And they kind of had a little argument. Um, and so after that happened, that's where you go now. You said Ray Liotta and them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they pop up and they wanted to just take him and leave, but
Mhm.
he's like, man, we cooking dinner, man. It's enough for y'all. So they come in, they all eating. And she's like, and he's like, yo, can we steal him for a little while, do a little cop work? She's like, well, his legs still ain't together. He's like, oh, well, he's not gonna be running or anything. We
Mhm.
just need him to take a little ride with us. So they pull up to fucking Kofi's house.
Yep.
And you like, I know the first time watching it, you like, fuck they doing
Yeah,
there? You know what I'm
we
saying?
got because he when he had said it at the table, he like, yeah, we going to see some people who are gonna be very excited to see you. So I'm thinking like, oh, this motherfucker about to be at a Trump rally or one of them weird ass wherever they. I'm thinking like they got a special group in the force. You know what I'm saying? Like that he about to get initiated in or something. I'm like, what is going on? I did not expect them to pop up at Kofi house.
They pop up at Kofi's house because my man Luke gave Ro, Ro,
Romina.
Romina, a good stack.
Mm-hmm.
So they figured out that it was a stack there. They go and after Avery and killed this kid's father,
Mm-hmm.
they go and take the fucking bank money from her. They found it in the crib, which Kofi ended up using the crib any damn way. Did all of that, took a damn wrench to the head.
Cause he got the picture. He obviously got the fucking picture.
So they come and I think that made Avery feel even worse. He's like, yo, like we like with me, I killed this kid's father.
Yeah.
He gives the mother some money from the bank robbery, and then we come and we rob her.
Right.
And not only do we rob her, I show my face here.
Right.
Y'all set me up for some shit. I ain't even know what was going on. So that was really a slap in the face, and it made Avery feel even worse. So the cut that he got, he goes to the diner where she works. He tries to give it back to her,
Mm-hmm.
and she was like, "Yo, I don't ever want to see you again. I don't, blase, all this type shit." So he feels guilty, and so he goes to the evidence locker and put the money in Luke's bag and
Yeah.
end up finding the picture or whatever in there. And so then the cops that he was okay, I'm lying. He tried to give the money to the captain, and the
He
captain
wanted
like,
to know
yo,
what happened first.
yeah. And so then he's like, yo, like, don't bring that money in here. He was
Yeah.
like, dude, if you do this, you're telling on cops.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, well, basically, it's the right thing to do. And he tried to get up and shake his hand. He's like, man, don't try to shake my hand. What the fuck? Like, you
Oh,
trying
no,
to
no,
do.
no, 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 no. So what happened there? And I thought, excuse me, I thought this was super interesting because when he went and told him, right, he told him everything that had happened, and the captain was like, "Yeah, so what?" Basically, you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
So then he was like, "Well, you got to take this money, and you know what I'm saying, yo, because this is the right thing to do." And he like, "Yo, if you do this shit, bro, they're gonna be on your ass. Not only are they gonna be on your ass, because they was already on his ass. Because this is after the fact that he met with old boy at the diner, and then he told him something about helping him and somebody else about a case, and then he ends up meeting DeLuca, and DeLuca was like, "Yo, that meet that what he said, that case that you and such talking about." He was like, "Yeah, we got to talk about it too." And he was like, "Yeah, follow me." And remember, they was driving all the way out in the woods, and he was realizing like, "Oh, they about to kill me."
Yeah.
So he decided to reverse and leave out and get out of there. And that's when he went to go talk to the captain. And as he talking to the captain, he telling him what happened. The captain like, "Man, who cares?" So he like, "Well, this is what's going to end up happening." And this is the change in Avery that I didn't like. This is when I seen, this is the moment where Avery changes, because Avery realizes that this job is not what he thought it was. And you could tell that Avery was one of those guys who went into the force thinking that I'm going to make a difference. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to go out there and really be a cop. And he just so happened to be amongst guys who weren't cops. So at first he had said, "Well, okay, well, if you're not gonna do that, then let's redesign the force, get me around these guys and everything else, and then promote me." And the captain was like, "That shit ain't gonna work." He was like, "The only way you can do it is you could work from the bottom up, or you could just retire at the rank you at." So then he was like, "Nah, I'm not going for that shit. So this is what's gonna happen. You're gonna do this, you're gonna do this, and you're gonna make me DA. You know what I'm saying? You all this shit gonna work, or I'm gonna make sure everybody take the fall for this." So the captain was like, "Man, fuck that shit. All right, cool. I do it, but you know what I'm saying, it ain't gonna be the best thing for you." And he put his hand out. Captain told him, "I never shake your hand. I can't do that. Yeah, I don't fuck with you for real." And so once all this happens, this is where we move on further into the timeline. And this
Yeah.
is why,
Now it's 15 years later.
yeah, see, this is why I say it's a little different, because like I said, sometimes like most movies they tell you a year later or such and such later. This one they don't, they jump straight into it. And so that's why I had got confused early on. But this next jump, I finally understood, what was happening. So now that his son is older, well, his son is older, like you said, 15 years later, son is older, his
Well,
son is in high school. Um,
well. When they started with the jump, when it said the 15 years later,
mhm,
they're at a funeral,
yeah,
and Avery's father dies.
right.
And so at the funeral, he's walking to the car and he's doing the politician wave. If you're paying
Hmm.
attention, he's doing
Hmm.
a little politician wave when he's walking away. And Jennifer walks up, his wife, and they're talking. And that's when you realize in that conversation that they're divorced now.
Yep. And shout out
And
to
she's,
sexy ass Rose Byrne too.
yeah, Rose Byrne is in his bad boy as well.
Man, that's my girl.
So, so she's having a conversation like, look, he keeps talking about he want to live with you. I told him he has to talk to you. I don't know what else to do with him and all this type of shit. He's like, yo, this is a terrible time for me to, what I'm saying, to have a son on me. I'm in the middle of my run. And she was
Hmm.
like, will you fucking tell him that then? Like, I'm not gonna tell him that you're saying that you're too busy for him to live with you when he wants to live with you. And so he kind of breaks down and was like, all right, man, like whatever, like he can come live with me or whatever. And so like he didn't even really want to take on his son.
Right.
At that point, he really wanted to keep like building himself up in this, being the DA and all this type stuff. So I thought that part was interesting. But the interesting thing about his son though was the fact of like they made little comments about the school that he went to. I'm assuming he went to school with a bunch of black people because
Absolutely.
My man, he's Chet Hanks out here, boy. Like he's out here.
Absolutely.
He's out here, boy. He is.
He
He
got the
think
fake accent and everything.
everything, but he think he the blackest dude in the school, boy. Like he's coming up, you know what I'm saying, talking all slow, trying to put a little deep voice on or whatever.
Rapping and shit.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay. And that's probably another reason why he was like, man, like this kid ain't nothing like me. Like I don't.
Now listen though, this is the thing. This is what I find interesting because the tables turn as far as the kids go, right?
Mhm.
And so you got AJ, who is this problematic ass, really spoiled ass suburban kid who
Mhm.
just so happens to think, you know what I'm saying, that he's a gangster. And then
Yep.
you have Jason, who is really from that area, but you know what I'm saying, he a good kid, you know what I'm saying? He do some little shit here and there, but for the most part, he's really a good kid. He don't get in no trouble or no shit like that. And you know what I'm saying, he come from a two-parent home, you know what I'm saying? Parents love him and everything else. And then you got AJ on the opposite side of divorced parents, you know what I'm saying? So he coming from a single parent home. Then he goes to live with his dad. His dad don't really got time to spend with him like that. And you could tell his dad ain't been really spending no time with him because of the shit that he was doing and the way he was acting. So I thought that was an interesting take because in the beginning you had Luke who kind of came from the scenario that AJ is supposedly in, and then you had Avery who was in the situation of Jason, you know what I'm saying, coming from a family, you know, having his family together, being married and you know, shit like that. And I was like, damn, that is a crazy twist. Real, you know what I'm saying, just how quick shit turns real quick. I thought that was a great another great thing that they did in the writing room by, you know what I'm saying, like making those differences of these two kids who have so much in common and don't even know it, yet and still, you know what I'm saying, they've taken opposite stances in life compared to their fathers.
Yes, and then I also thought it was very interesting the multicultural home that Jason was coming from. So now you have a Latino mom and a black stepdad,
Mm-hmm.
and then now you got a mixed sister too.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Because she ended up having a child with Kofi.
Yep.
And so, because remember, there was a comment that was made, like they second or third time, like talking and hanging out. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, yo, like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's your dad, you know, making a comment about his, you know, him being
Yeah.
black. So I think that Jason is kind of I think even coming into like that little like friendship, that he probably like looking at him funny, like, dude, like, I wonder did Jason think like, why are you talking like that? Like,
Yeah.
you the
Because remember, he
whitest
was
kid.
like, he asked where he was from. He was saying something. He was like something about Long Island. He was like, "Yeah, that's where I thought you was from." You know what I'm saying, with the way you talking and shit. He thought he was
Yeah,
from Long Island. So yeah,
yeah, he like, dude, like I've been raised by a black man, and he
yeah,
don't even, you know what I'm saying, try
he
to
don't,
go
he ain't,
OD with it like you.
yeah.
So I thought that was cool. But then like when they, you know, Jason started having questions.
Mm-hmm.
He's like asking about his dad, asked Kofi about his dad. He was just like, man, he died in a car accident, and if you want to know more, you gotta talk to your mom about it. But he was like, that man ain't your dad. He was like, you know what I'm saying? He's just a man who, you know what I'm saying, had a kid, and I'm like your father or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And he was and so like he's starting to get, you know what I'm saying, more curious of like wanting to know. And I can't remember which pod we were doing, but I remember asking you, and I had kind of put you on the spot. I didn't mean to put you on the spot that day, but it had came up.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just like, I had asked you, like, do some of your dad's family members ever be like, yo, man, you just like your dad, you know, because you lost your dad early.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know, I don't remember exactly what my response was, but I can tell you now, like it wasn't just my dad's side. It was like my whole family. Because like my dad, you know what I'm saying, knew that he was cool with my mom's side of the family too. So like even like growing up, you know what I'm saying, her brothers, my grandmothers, my cousins, aunts, uncles, all of them, they would all tell me, you know what I'm saying, the same thing. Like, yeah, they would all tell me about him, you know what I'm saying, as I was growing up. So definitely it was always a thing that, you know what I'm saying, he was always mentioned amongst my family members for sure.
Yeah, and it made me think of you again because I was just like, even though Kofi was in his life and all this type of stuff like that,
Mhm.
he had like a lot of similarities to his dad and didn't even really realize it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He kind of, in a way, dressed like him. His
Mhm.
mannerisms was kind of like him, and he never even met. I mean, well, he did. He was a toddler though,
Technically,
infant.
he
So
wasn't around them. He didn't.
yeah,
Yeah. So and that's still kind of my situation too because, um, I have a stepdad and they, him and my mom had a daughter. So I do got a sister, and you know what I'm saying? Like, so all of this shit is really correlating a lot with my life. That's why I said like this movie was very interesting to me because I can speak on the fact of, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, from Kofi's standpoint, you know what I'm saying? I don't agree with the shit he did, but you know what I'm saying, him raising a kid that's not his, you know what I'm saying, being in love with a woman and you know what I'm saying, taking care of them and giving them some place to be and you know what I'm saying, helping out, doing all these things. And then at the same time, I could also relate to Jason with, you know what I'm saying, having a stepfather, you know what I'm saying, and then, him and your mom having a kid and you know what I'm saying, your dad passed early when you were a baby, and you know what I'm saying, you gotta live through all that. So it's a lot of things that I can relate to in this movie, for sure.
yeah. And so then the whole turning point really starts to happen. Like he's hanging out with AJ for real, for real. They skipping school, getting high, and all this type of stuff. And he's like, "Yo, can you get some oxy?" They going somewhere, and then they
No,
get,
first it
you know
was
what I'm
the
saying?
X. First it was
The
the
X,
X.
X, my bad. So it
Yeah.
was the X, and that's when they got arrested.
Yep.
So they in two separate rooms, and then we see Avery. He comes up, and they say the name of the other kid. He's like,
Hmm.
"Oh shit!" Like
Hmm.
that's, you know what I'm saying, that's Luke's son.
Yep.
So he goes into his son, jack him up real quick, tell him, "You can have whatever you want. I don't care, but stay away from that kid.
Hmm.
No matter what, I don't care what the situation is. Stay away from that kid." All this type of stuff. And so obviously because of his position, his son get a slap on the wrist. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But he did Jason a solid. You know what I'm saying? Basically got everything kind of dropped down to, you know what I'm saying, a misdemeanor. He don't
Okay.
really.
Let's talk about this, bro. Because at first, bro,
Okay.
like I was saying, Avery was already going on that whole ass route. He was
Yeah.
already on some whole ass shit. He wasn't really there for his son. You know what I'm saying? He took his job way too serious. A whole bunch of different shit. So he let his son off, and he used Luke's son as a scapegoat. Now, first and foremost, you done did enough on this poor kid's life. You done
Yeah.
killed the man daddy. You know what I'm saying? You done went in there with your little goons and stole the money. Then you tried to get the money back after his mama done told you, yo, don't fuck with me right now. You know what I'm saying? So you done did enough on this kid life. So now this nigga is locked up. He facing 3 to 5, but you decide to give him a misdemeanor and a fine. Nigga, let me tell you something. You done stole the money I had to be able to even pay the fine to begin with. Then you want to come back because you feel guilty and try to give it back. Now all of a sudden you taking him some money from me again, and my son got misdemeanor. I was like, man, this nigga, if this nigga let this boy go down, he's a punk. But like you said, man, he gave him a tap on the wrist. So I did appreciate that about Avery. But I was sitting there like, God damn, bro, like this nigga is a menace to these people's lives.
Yes. Yes, man. Only to better himself. And
Hmm.
so then, so he gets out, and so they back at school, and so AJ is like pressing him about this fucking party.
Hmm.
And he asked him like, "Yo, we cool?" He's like, "Yeah, man, we cool, we cool." And he's like, "All right, man, look, I'm having this party at my dad's house. He's gonna be gone." So he's like, you know what I'm saying, "I want you to come through." He's like, "Oh man, I can't." He said, "What, you got family shit to do?" He's like, "Man, like just come through the party." He was like, "You said we cool." He was like, all right, I'll be there. He's like, yeah, but there's one thing. You know what I'm saying? I want you to bring some oxy. He's like, man, like I just got locked up for fucking possession. Like, no, I'm not getting no oxy. So like he hem him up. You know what I'm saying? Pressing him. So he breaks down. He's like, all right, he's gonna do it. He go to a fucking drugstore, steal the fucking oxy and shit. So he fucking goes to the party. You know, everybody high, drunk, all this type of shit.
Normal
Girl
teenage.
come, yeah, normal teenager shit. You know what I'm saying? He get this girl. You know what I'm saying? He about to, you know what I'm saying? He about to lay him down, smack him, yak him.
Man.
Then he see the picture on the wall. Now, this is the thing. So I jump way ahead because this is very important.
Mm-hmm.
So he asked, when he asked Kofi in that situation when he was like, you know, he was your dad, but I'm your father, or however he put it.
Yeah, when they're sitting on the porch.
Yeah, he told him his name.
Mm-hmm.
So he looked him up, and then he found out about Robin.
Yep.
So he goes and sees Robin. Sorry, y'all, because this part very important.
This is super important.
So he goes and sees Robin, and he tells Robin who he is. So Robin is like, oh man, you know, so he takes him into, you know what I'm saying, the trailer that he lived in, seeing his those sunglasses, like, yo, those was your dad's sunglasses, you know what I'm saying, keep those. And at first he showed him the paper of when he got arrested and the cop that shot him. That's when he saw the picture. He's like, I don't want to start there. I want to start with fun things. I want to start with good things. And told him he was the best motorcycle rider he ever seen. And, you know, he was just telling him that, you know, that he loved him and all that type stuff. And, you know, just really just, you know what I'm saying, like giving the boy really good information before he was telling him the bad stuff. Because he researched all the bad stuff. And so, like, he was just telling him. And so, like, he's like on a whole new, you know what I'm saying, high. Like, he's feeling good that he actually know something about his dad now.
He's actually learning about his dad, yeah.
Yeah. So then you fast forward to, like I said, he's about to land down, smack him, yak him, see the picture on the wall, bitch, which is the same picture that was in the paper that Robin showed him. So he was like, damn, AJ, this is your dad. He was like, what, you trying to play me? And AJ has no fucking idea what he's talking about. No. But he doesn't know. He doesn't know that AJ doesn't know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The only problem is, you know what I'm saying, Jason don't really know how to fight yet.
No. I don't think it was that. I think it was the fact that Jason was high and drunk. So he ain't have all this shit together for real. Because remember, it was in the when Jason first got out of prison or out of jail or whatever, and they was sitting down and they was talking, and AJ said something to him, and he hemmed AJ up. He was like, man, let that shit go. And he was like, all right, cool. So to me, AJ is a bitch for real.
Yeah, AJ
ain't nothing about AJ tough. Because Jason pressed up on him a couple times in this movie, and AJ backed the fuck up. AJ took advantage of the fact that Jason was drunk and high. That's what
he did. He did. So he beat the shit out of him in that front yard. So where he was hospitalized.
Yeah.
So he's in the hospital and shit. He goes halfway recovered, and he takes a gun to the house. You know what I'm saying? He points it at AJ, but he's waiting for the dad to come home. You know what I'm saying? Avery comes home, and he's like, basically like, yo, like, you know what I'm saying, you killed my dad, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna kill your dad type of shit. So he takes him basically to the same place that Avery was about to get dealt with earlier in the movie. But, you know, he realized that really he wasn't no killer.
Right.
And, you know what I'm saying, he just took his shit and then he just took off and was just like, now at the same time, in the hospital, he was upset with his mom that she didn't tell him the truth.
He called her a liar.
Yeah, he called her a liar. But at the same time, I understand both sides.
Yeah.
I understand both sides. You don't want to necessarily tell your son that, yo, your dad, you know what I'm saying, robbed banks and got killed. You know what I'm saying, after, you know, he was doing a bank robbery.
Right.
And then, not only that, the fucking cop that shot him came to me later and fucking robbed the money from me that he gave me. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, and tried to give it back. So it's
Yeah.
a very complex story, and I think that if she was to tell him, maybe 21, I'm saying
Yeah. It
25
wasn't
years
the right. It
old.
definitely wasn't the right time.
Yeah, it wasn't the right time to tell him at 17,
Yeah.
like what was really going on with your father at this time. And then their relationship was even. You know what I'm saying? Because
Mhm.
if you're gonna tell him the whole story, you got to tell him the whole story of, like, what I mean, like, me and him, we was, what I'm saying, we was off and on. He came in, I had feelings for him, but I was already with Kofi. Like, it's a lot going on with that story. So I get why she didn't tell him, because it wasn't the time to tell him. It was still
Mhm.
too early for him to tell him. But he got to a point where I also think that he just had so many similarities to his dad, even though he never met the man.
Right.
You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Even when he had bought that bike from that old man asked him, "Have you even rode one of these before?"
Mhm.
And I think what they was trying to show us in that scene, even though he's never ridden a motorcycle
It's in his
before,
blood.
he's a natural.
Yeah,
You know
it's
what I'm
in his
saying?
blood.
Yeah, it's in his blood that
Cause
he
remember,
knows.
and then it also went back to remember the pictures, because remember on that one picture that Romina took, he had him sitting on the bike.
Bike, yeah, and he revved it up and started crying.
Yeah, so you know what I'm saying. That was a sentimental thing for him. So once he went off, he ended up sending something back to his mom.
The
But before
picture.
that, yeah, before that, Avery ended up becoming the DA. You know what I'm saying? He was good. AJ was good, and then we see Romina opening up mail. It say mom on there, so apparently it's from Jason, and it was the picture. It was a note in there, and then there was the picture. You know what I'm saying, of him when he was a baby with his dad and Romina. Um, and then that's where it ended, right? They showed him like walking off and
Well, riding off, and he
riding
said he
off.
was going. He said he was going out west.
Yeah. So you know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much the movie, man. Hey, that was a good one, man. You ready to get into the Fire Flames?
Yes, sir.
Let's do it.
Yoga fire. Yoga flame.
All right, man. So if you allow me, man, I want to go first on this one.
Man, go ahead, man.
Um, I'm giving this a 5. Okay.
Hmm.
Great story. And the fact that they broke this up into 3 different parts, right? They give you Luke's part, they give you Avery's part, and then they give you both of the sons' part
Hmm.
together. And really it's not even both of the sons, it's more so Jason's part. But you know what I'm saying? AJ kind of played into it too, so of course AJ's in it. Um but I think the way that they wrote this was dope because it flowed like water. Um, it wasn't nothing in this movie where it would have left you confused, like how did this happen, or why is he feeling this way, or how did he get here? I mean, it was no holes in the story whatsoever. Like I said, man, the cast was amazing. This was a damn near all-star cast. Um, if this were to come out now, this would be an all-star cast because of everybody that's in it. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Um, so you have so many different elements in this movie. You know what I'm saying? You got romance, you have action, you got drama, a little bit of comedy. You know what I'm saying? Like it's something for every genre in this movie. And then not only that, man, just the way that you know what I'm saying, the way to me, I feel like the way that it ended, I didn't feel like I needed more. You know what I'm saying? I felt like that was the perfect way to cap this story off by, you know what I'm saying, letting him ride off into the sunset. Everybody ends up good. You know what I'm saying? He didn't do nothing stupid. He not on the run or no shit like that. He just made a decision to just, you know what I'm saying, be free, really just like his dad was.
Like his dad.
Yeah.
Exactly. Just like
You
his
know what I'm
dad.
saying? So I mean, everything came around. They tied up all the loose ends perfectly. It's a 5, man. This was an amazing movie.
Listen, man, we are out of day,
Yeah.
and and also to go along with the cast, like the person they chose to pick to play Jason, perfect pick,
Yeah.
perfect pick.
Yeah.
Um, no, the cast is off the chain. Like I said, man, I remember watching this movie when it came out, and there was a buzz about it at the time. It kind of fizzled out a little bit, like most movies do anyway. I mean, that's just how movies, what I'm saying, tend to work. But
Right.
I mean, with this movie coming out in, saying 2012, it had a buzz. But I just think I'm like you, man. The writing, we need more writing like this today. We
Absolutely.
don't we don't have these types of stories anymore.
Yeah.
And I think it was very well written. I think the cast fit perfectly. I think Ryan Gosling was the perfect person to play Luke. I think Bradley Cooper was a perfect person to play Avery.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they really put together a masterpiece, man. This is one of those movies where, you know what I'm saying, where in my instance where I don't find myself picking up my phone. You know what I'm saying? Like this is
Exactly.
a movie that there's enough in it to grab you. And you brought up a good point of like this movie is a crime, it's drama, it's
Mhm.
thriller, it's romance, it's action. Like it gives you everything, suspense, mystery,
Mhm.
all balled up into one. I mean, like you watching a movie where you don't even you're looking at a cop who's considered a hero, then he turns into a snitch.
Yeah.
It's like what the fuck? Like where did this come from? Like
After killing somebody.
yeah. So it's like, dude, it's they did a phenomenal job with this. And like I say, man, I don't know how I be finding these joints,
Hmm.
but like this was just one of those movies, man, where I watched it, I thought it was great. I don't remember how it ended up coming back to my mind and adding it to the list, but yeah, we out of day, man. This is a five for me as well.
And you bring up a great point too when you say like you didn't pick up your phone because like I said I started watching this and I was playing a game and bruh I paused the game and just continue watching this. I'm in the middle of a jump shot when Luke gets shot. I'm in the middle of a jump shot. I paused it. I had to just freeze and just watch the movie. This was amazing though, bro. This was amazing.
That's what's up, man.
All right, man. So let's get into the coming soon.
Let's do it.
Coming soon to own on video and DVD.
All right, man. So our next episode is going to be a gut buster. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I don't know how we gonna get through this. Um I'm not even gonna lie. You may not even understand us through most of this episode. Just bear with us. Please just bear with us, man. We're covering Friday and next Friday. We're doing a double feature. Um when I tell you this is gonna be all laughs. This is gonna be nothing but comedy and joy and funniness. It's just gonna be a good time, man. If you haven't seen Friday and you haven't seen next Friday, uh crawl out from under that rock. You know what I'm saying? Get out, get back on the grid and go watch this. Um, this is gonna be a good one.
Yes, sir. This
Yeah,
it
it's gonna be
is.
a real good one. So that's what we got next. And listen, if you enjoyed this episode, if you didn't enjoy this episode, if you too wish that more cops snitched on each other, hit us up, let us know on the socials, Instagram and X at ViewAnon Facebook VA Pod Watch Group. On X, you can follow us in our group, in our community, Viewers Anonymous. And also don't forget we have a paid section that you can join $2.99 a month. Um, we have a whole bunch of episodes in there for you to go and listen. So if you enjoy the podcast, enjoy it a little bit more for $2.99. That uh that subscription goes to help us continue to build this podcast. So we would greatly appreciate if you went there and did that. And if you would like to follow me personally, you can find me on X at Scoots Bronson. Have a link tree in my bio, and you can find me everywhere else there.
And y'all can find me at s.foster8 on Instagram and on X at 28 minutes or less pod. That's just on IG. Follow the podcast 28 minutes or less. You know what I'm saying? Still cooking up some stuff for the 28 minutes or less. So it's still History of Horror Part 2. But be on the lookout for something new. And that's all I got.
Yes, sir. And quick side note, man, for those that are actually trying to find out how to subscribe, there's a link in the description of this podcast. So if you are listening to this, only thing you have to do is go to the description. You can click the link and it'll help you set everything up from there. Thank you guys for your support. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you all for watching. Everything you guys do for us is greatly appreciated. And until the next episode, man, like they say in Hollywood, that's a wrap.
Cut.